Hello, this is Kate, and this is your weekly oracle card reading. Okay, so the first card that we got is gonna symbolize Monday and Tuesday of this week. Okay, and we've got leadership, and this card says, take charge of this situation. So coming into the week, you're going to want to get in that kind of take charge mode, or that kind of leadership role. And I think that this applies to both feeling like you're a leader in your environment, so whether it's, you know, the workplace or your family, kind of taking on that leadership role, but also taking on the leadership role for yourself in your personal life. So I guess another way to put it is kind of being your own leader and stepping into that leadership role when it comes to making decisions. So I think if you have anything that you're, you know, kind of debating or holding off on making any big decisions, the beginning of this week is a really good time to finally make those decisions and take a more active role in decision making. Okay, and then the next card that we have, which is representing more the middle of the week, so kind of Wednesday, Thursday, and we've got light and love, and this card says, your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. And I know there's a lot of people out there who feel like they aren't totally clear what their purpose is. And a lot of us tend to really focus on career as being the thing that's going to give us a sense of purpose. Or even when you say that, you know, like, what's your life purpose? You often assume that it's to do with career. And what I'm getting from this card is that really has very little to do with it. It's, you know, you come into the world with a particular purpose or goal, and that goal can be fulfilled no matter what you do. So it doesn't necessarily have to be fulfilled through a career. It can be fulfilled in all different ways. Or you can find ways to fulfill that purpose with your career, but the actual career isn't necessarily as important as you might think it is. I don't know if that makes makes any sense or not, but I think that there's a really nice balance here between the two cards, because the beginning of the week we've got leadership, and you know, there's a symbol of, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Joan of Arc or who it's supposed to be, but she's in armor, and so we have kind of a very strong, almost a masculine sense coming into the week of standing in your power, standing up for yourself, making decisions, but also being a leader and having the courage to lead others and to step into that leadership role. And then we have light and love, which is nicely balanced. So I believe that the message here has to do with being able to balance those two things. You know, standing in that leadership role and bringing in light and love into your environment. So wherever it is that you have a leadership role, like I said, whether it's, you know, with your career or in your family or just, you know, in your personal life, you're going to want to focus this week focus on bringing more light and love into that role. Okay, and then the end of the week, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got Builder. And this card says, your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. And because it's the weekend card, I'm thinking that this has a lot to do with, you know, weekend projects or even crafts or anything that you're working on that has kind of a physical component to it. And has a creative component as well. So focusing on, you know, creating things and bringing things into manifestation. I think that's what this card has to do with. So just taking a step back and looking at them all as a whole, we get kind of a nice reading here. So leadership having to do with, you know, taking your power, being a leader, and then light and love, you know, getting clear on how it is that you're going to bring more light and love into your role as leader, but also just into into the world in general. And I think this is an interesting one because a lot of us, might say, oh, light and love and stuff like that, and have that as your focus, but you might find you feel a little bit unsure as to how to actually go about doing that and how to express that in the world. So I think that the theme of this week is going to be all about doing that and finding ways to express that. So one thing you can do is take out a sheet of paper and a pen and make a list of all the things that you can think of, all the different ways that you can bring more, like the card says, your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. So getting out pen and paper and actually jotting down some ideas of how you can do this week. So it doesn't have to be anything big or major, but what little steps could you take this week, or what things can you do just in your daily day-to-day life that would bring more divine healing light to this world. And I feel like this card also speaks to kind of healing yourself. So not necessarily worrying so much about what others are doing or what's going on out there, but focusing on yourself and focusing on changing yourself from the inside out. So this card could be signifying a need to, just spend 5 minutes every morning meditating and getting into a really high vibration state where you're really kind of radiating that light and love yourself, rather than trying to change everyone else or worrying about that. Just focusing on changing yourself and changing your own energy, and that will have an enormous effect on people around you. And sometimes we can feel kind of overwhelmed when we think about how we want to bring more healing light to the world, and it can feel like a big overwhelming job. But if we start small and if we start with ourselves, we can really make a huge difference in the world. And then at the end, the weekend, with the Builder card, it's all about focusing on putting the energies of leadership and light and love into actually creating something physical. So whether, like I said before, whether that means a craft or a piece of artwork or some kind of weekend project, it's all about bringing those concepts of leadership, light and love, and creating something out of it. And I get the sense that this has a lot to do with artwork. So creating perhaps a piece of artwork that really will inspire whoever looks at it to feel much more enlightened or feel happier or more full of love than they did before they looked at the piece of artwork. So I hope you found this reading helpful. My name is Kate, and thank you so much for joining me.